Meetings when I join. Some meetings when I join, my microphone is unmuted by default, and other meetings it's muted by default.
You can set the defaults yourself in your Zoom settings, but the sponsor of the meeting or the owner of the meeting can actually say what they want when the meeting starts and people join.
Hmm. I figured that was the case.
I got my presentation done finally.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
That was a lot more work than I anticipated.
Well, I'm registered, so I'll be ready to ask you questions.
Well, right in the middle of recording my first test of a rehearsal, I'm using Impress from LibreOffice instead of PowerPoint. And I had as part of the presentation, I'm going to be streaming some YouTube videos that I recorded using my phone as the webcam in front of my little computer so I could record the computer screen of things booting on it, because you can't run Zoom and record the screen at the same time as you're booting up your computer. So you got to have a camera.
Yeah.
And right in the middle of that, I probably got about 10 minutes of it done. My whole system went black. And by the way, if that happens tonight, um, Drew, just take over. I should be back, just a reboot, and I'm back in.
All
But
right.
I'm probably, when this week is let up a little bit, I'm probably going to go and get some benchmarks and stress the computer and see if it's stress on the CPU that's doing it, or if it is temperature. Because I have actually I have a temperature app that I can probably. I think I showed it to you once. If I didn't, I'll bring that up.
Yeah, I found a couple that I was using on my machine when Huey was having trouble with his computer. And I took notes, I thought, and I put them in my Joplin database so I'd have them for later. And then I went back to look at them for later, and I couldn't find them. I had downloaded a couple of programs, one of which was really great at um, pushing the CPU and the memory. Um, I'll have to go find it again.
I'm looking through my programs now because it normally comes up by default, but I closed it on this boot. I'm looking at all programs, so I don't remember what it's called. I've got a power, that's interesting. I got a power statistics program. I didn't know. Oh, there it is. P sensor. P sensor. Let's just see here. Share desktop two. There's my P sensor. Pick that up.
Hey, Mike,
Yep.
your audio uh, seems lower than normal.
Okay, hang on. Let me adjust the volume because I was using my headset, but I went back to my microphone and I may have.
I mean, it's not terrible. I can hear you, but Drew sounds very normal to me. He comes over loud, and I got you on max volume, and
Well, I'm at 64%, so hang on a moment. Now I'm at 80%. Is that any better?
it might be. I'll have to see.
Hey,
I'll go up. I'm going up to 90%.
Oh yeah, uh,
How's
you
that?
sound fine to me.
yeah, yeah. Now it's really good. Is that controllable?
I can control it
Well,
on my computer. You can do it on a Windows computer. Yes.
you can control your Windows volume level.
Yep. This is my volume. This is my sound panel on my Linux computer.
Okay,
In my microphone, I can adjust it. And I
right,
can also
right.
adjust my speakers.
Well, yeah, I've got the. Let me see what mine says. Well, I just have a. Well, that's not
But,
the full.
but Windows has that too. It's in the control panel.
Okay, take your word for it. I
Actually, if you go down, I'm doing this from memory. If you go down to the lower right to the status panel, you'll see a little speaker. And I think if you right click on it, it says settings or something like that. And you can then adjust the input and the output levels. And you can also
This
choose the source.
says open sound settings. Yeah.
Open sound settings. Thank you, Harry.
yeah, I've got this thing opened on my Windows 10 computer. Uh, it just shows me my output volume, but nothing about mic volume.
So
Well,
I'm
the mic
looking,
volume is for you, not for Mike.
yeah,
So,
I
but you
understand
can't
that.
set the microphone.
Right. I understand that. I can control the audio coming in toward me, but I don't see any controls for my mic on my audio going out.
It's in the settings.
Okay, maybe another day. I got this thing open on Windows 10. It says Windows Mobility Center.
No, that's not it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm on
yeah.
Windows 11. Otherwise, I would show you where it is
I've
because I think there's a
I've
different.
seen it on some other computers, but I've never messed with it. I just haven't explored that much on this Windows 10 machine, so
I
I
don't
just
think, hang on a second, let me see if my, I
Or
think I should.
down at the bottom, do you have something that says advanced sound options?
There you go. I'm looking at my CPU temperature right now at a peak of 184. Uh, that would be up in this area somewhere. 184 is a bit high, but see, that's the green. Okay, so the green is right now is okay. And purple looks to be CPU usage, which is 61% right now. A couple of peaks in here. What's red? Red is my GPU, which
well,
is
I've got this there was a microphone down in the tray which I opened up and it says microphone. I got like a window, uh all kinds of settings on it, but no volume, output volume, output going volume.
The right-hand panel up at the very, very top, does it say sound? So we're both looking at the same thing?
Right hand panel of which panel?
So
Harry,
when you right,
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and give you authority to share yours. Hang on a second. Stop sharing my screen.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I got to turn into a pumpkin for a while.
Well, you can watch if you gotta listen to somebody else. Make you a co-host. Okay, you can share your screen, Harry, if you want to show your sound. Down at the bottom center, the green button that says share. Pick your screen that you want to share.
oh, it didn't come up. Okay, hold on. Sorry.
There you go. I'm starting to share. Yep.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Do you have something that looks like this?
Yep. That's it. And down there where it says
The
input.
very top says sound. If we're on the same panel, all
Yep.
the way down says advanced sound options. Paul, no.
Okay, where'd you find that?
Um, down
Settings.
at the lower right is where you said you right clicked.
Your volume mixer might do it too, but try your sound settings.
Where's your
There you
now
go.
I've seen that screen on other computers. I have not seen that on my computer yet. Sound.
So down at the bottom where you have the little icon
Yeah.
for the speaker, you did right click there. The very first option says open sound settings.
Okay.
And does that give you a two-column display? Well, pointing to my screen. Does it give you a two-column display? but at the top of the rightmost column.
Okay, I got a 7 o'clock thing, so I need to bow out here for a few minutes.
Okay. All right, no problem.
And then I'll come back and look at it.
Okay. How do I unshare?
Up at the very top, as you move your mouse pointer up, there you go.
Okay.
Welcome, Judy. Thanks for joining our local group.
Hi there. Glad to be here because I need help.
Oh, well, you've got a
We
group
charge
of
money for out-of-state residents.
Quiet.
What can we assist you with?
I'm going to find my email so I can tell you exactly what the problem is.
Okay.
So I shall put my mic back on when I find it.
All righty. Anyway, yeah, I found when I was doing the program that I had a lot better control over what was recorded and what I was listening to by using my USB headset. So tomorrow, that's what I'll be using. Also, it has a little hand controller, and I can mute quickly with this if I have to call. And I guess I can, let's see, if I press my space button, that's supposed to mute, but sometimes in Linux, let me see if it does. Nope.
Right.
Doesn't do that. Lots of things on Zoom and Linux don't work the way they do in Windows. And I thank you, Drew, for assisting me with the video editor.
You're very welcome.
That I used. We ought to do something maybe at a main meeting on video editors because Ron did a big presentation on Camtasia. And Camtasia is a very full-featured video editor, but you pay through the nose for it. And even then, I guess I've had it for over 10 years, and I've renewed it every year. I was just very frustrated with a whole bunch of problems I had with it. And I had to get their tech support, and their tech support was trying to walk me through stuff. And then they said, well, we can't really help you, so go ahead and submit a copy of your project and let us look at it.
Yeah.
And,
well, when I was looking at video editors, I looked at Camtasia, but I made my decision based on how much learning tutorial videos there were on YouTube. And because Camtasia is a commercial product, you have to be a paid owner of it in order to do a video of it. Whereas the free ones, anybody can do an instructional video.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Try pressing Alt-A and see if it mutes your microphone.
Alt-A? Alt-A is sound in the voice AI. Turns it on and turns it off that I used. Second.
Because Alt-A on my computer mutes my Zoom.
Yes. Okay. Interesting. The Alt-A works, but when you're sharing your screen and then hiding the screen controls from what you're sharing, the controls that they're supposed to do, Control / or let's see, Control Alt Shift H, don't work. It works on Windows, but it doesn't work in Linux. But if I share my screen, which I'll do here just for kicks. So I don't know, can you see in the upper right here a big black or the meeting control?
A black box.
Yeah. So I can actually move that out of the way. I can grab it. I'm taking it off screen 2 and moving it over onto screen 1. Now it's gone. So that's out of my window, but I can't close it. under Linux.
You should be able to hide it though.
No, not under Linux. Let me bring it back.
On the far, at least on my computer anyway, on the far right-hand side where you are, there's a thing called hide meeting controls
And in Linux?
in Windows.
No, yes. In Windows, it does. In Linux, it doesn't. So
Hmm.
this is my Linux. And I had hoped the more over here on the right, well, you just have a black box, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you got a great big black box here on the right-hand side. So for me, that opened up chat, pause recording, stop recording, transcript, captions, polls, quizzes, notes, reactions, live on Facebook, interesting, live on YouTube, live on Twitch, live on custom live streaming service. Oh, oh, hide video panel. Son of a gun. It wasn't there earlier today. Hang on a second. No, that just hide that the more. Missing. And now show video panel. Missing.
Didn't seem to do anything on our end.
No, yeah. And it didn't do anything here. So if I don't want it, I just move it over onto screen one if I'm sharing screen two, which is usually what I do.
Yeah.
Right now, I just have participants sitting over here in the meeting. All right, let me stop
Yep.
sharing.
Yeah. I just turned my TV into a second monitor and put everything over there.
I think I can actually, because this is the tech SIG, I think I can go to the meeting controls and allow, let's see here, more, anybody to share their screen. So let me just look at this. Again, it's different in Linux. Meeting info, whiteboard talks, transcript, reset to default. Nope. And up here at the top, TechSig meeting, security settings, overview. Let me see. No. So it doesn't look like view meeting info loading. That opened up something underneath meeting. Oh, no. No, that didn't do it either. Okay. So I guess I'll have to make people co-hosts to share, but that's okay. So
Well, you know what you can do? Rather than making co-hosts, if the person that wants to share clicks their share button,
mhm.
it should pop a message up on your screen
Try it.
saying, I'm requesting permission.
Try it. Let's see. Allow. Multiple presenters can share. Oh, okay. Now try sharing your screen.
And I can.
I don't see it yet. There, no. Yeah, okay. It works.
Uh-huh. Yes, it
Although
does.
it's black. Yeah, no, there we go. Okay, now I've got it. Software updates. You
Yep.
got a whole bunch of updates.
Yes, I do. This is while this is up here on the screen. This is a program called Uniget, which is a graphical user interface for Microsoft Winget. It's a GUI utility for what you would consider apt upgrade or apt update on Linux. And then you also have on Linux a graphical application upgrader.
Hmm.
This is the same thing, but for Windows. I could click on any one of these. Like it's telling me that Zoom has been updated since the last time I did it. If I wasn't on a Zoom call, I would right click on here and say update, and it would go out to Zoom and update my software.
Interesting.
If I click here, it will automatically update all of these at the same time.
Why don't you use Patch My PC?
Um, I do use Patch My PC, but
It'd be the best.
Patch My PC is limited to a number of apps, and Winget is tied to Microsoft. Microsoft runs Winget. There are over 5,000 software packages that can be installed through Winget.
And you have every one of them, correct?
I've only got 3,000.
Just saying. Okay, my bad.
But if I go into here and I say winget dot run, here's a database that has 4,315 packages. If I want to I can search this database online. And let's say I want to put in Zoom. I type in the word Zoom, and it shows me all the Zoom options that I have. And if I click here, it gives me the option to, if I do copy command, and then I bring up here, now it has winget install Zoom. So if I were to hit enter, it would install Zoom.
Now, is that the command line or is that
What this does, it's a graphical user interface that gives you the ability to install one or more products at the same time. Like, for
is that the
example,
normal command line that it put it on?
what it does is it will create a. I've only selected one app. If I click here, let me get.
Probably don't want it to mess with Zoom because it'll knock you off
No,
it.
no, I don't. But if I want to, I can either copy the command line option, or I can click on download, and it will download a PowerShell script, and I can then run this PowerShell script.
That's what I
And
was wondering if that was PowerShell or if it was just the normal
I
command line.
I can select um, as many apps as I want. If I click
Unzip
on
your pants
this,
before you pee.
and
Okay,
if I
just
oh,
saying.
pzip is a replacement, Judy, for 7-zip. Um,
Oh,
7
okay.
7-zip comes out of Russia and is only available on Windows.
Huh.
pzip is available on Windows, Mac, and Linux, and is not made in Russia.
You should give a presentation on these strangely named things and why
But
they're better than the
you can see
program that
over
comes
here
from
that
Russia.
you can see that over here that I've got two packages selected. I can select as many as I want,
Right.
and
They
then
just
and
upload in the background and life goes on if you're giving a
it
presentation.
yeah, it will. I can upgrade. Let me get this out of the way. If I go to my command prompt and I say winget upgrade, it's going to show a list of programs that have upgrades available.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
here,
that's like sudo apt update.
so it tells me there are 22 upgrades available.
oh, okay.
And if I were to type in winget upgrade
Oh,
dash,
yeah.
then it would go and update all of the software. And
But
it
what
does it
about
finally.
people who have no clue about working with the command line, just regular, ordinary?
Oh, Microsoft is working on building a graphical user interface into their program called PowerToys. So supposedly the next version of PowerToys, the next upgrade to PowerToys, will have a graphical user interface for Winget. But this is a Winget graphical user interface. If I click over here on Discover Packages, oops, let me get this out of the way. I can search for a package, any package I want. Let's say I want
C
Snag It. Oh,
Okay.
give me the name of an app for Windows.
C cleaner,
C Cleaner.
CC. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So I type that, and here's
yeah.
CC Cleaner, and I click here, and then I would right click and hit install, and it will install CCleaner. You can't do this with Patch My PC.
Interesting.
Okay, way cool. So I would be happy though when it comes up with uh, something other than have to go to the command line. So that's the next. How often do they upgrade power toys?
Um, it varies once every month or two.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we're having a Power Toys presentation, I believe, in April, and I'll ask the presenter, a Schulman in your area, that if he will check and see if that has been updated, because that's way cool and something that I could use.
And then there's also another program
Oh,
called
set your PC free.
Winstall.run. Set your PC free. This is a program, a website, Judy, that I would do a presentation on for you.
Good, I'm
Uh,
putting that
it
down and I have ink right here. Okay.
it's called, it's a website called portableapps.com,
Oh, yes.
and it focuses on applications that are po portable, meaning that you can, if I click on apps, you'll see that there's a long list of apps, games and graphics applications, internet software, and you can install all of these on a flash drive and bring them to any computer and run these programs without installing anything on that person's computer.
I just saw LibreOffice go by as you went by fast. Yep.
Yeah, LibreOffice is in there. I have, this is the graph, this is the menu interface for it.
Oh,
And if I, but here is LibreOffice Writer, and this is running off my flash drive.
huh.
This is not installed on my computer. I can plug this into a computer at a hotel and run LibreOffice without having permission to install LibreOffice.
Huh. And where do you, oh, never mind. Okay, I'll answer my own question. If you need to create a document and save it, you're going to save it in the cloud, or if you're working on a document and you have to update it, you bring it down from the cloud and update it, and boom, you're
Well,
done. You're only working
it,
on your flash drive.
it creates for you a video folder, a music folder, and a documents folder on the flash drive. So you can save it to your documents folder on the flash drive.
Cool, that was a yes. Good job, Judy.
So if you're in a business center at a hotel or an internet center on a cruise ship, you don't have to bring your computer with you. You just use their computer, and as long as they've made the USB connectors available. I was actually on a cruise ship a number of years ago that they hid all the USB connectors and wouldn't let you plug in. But
See, under internet, I've got Opera and SeaMonkey, Google Chrome, Firefox, but they're not taking up space on my computer. These are all on the flash drive.
That would have worked wonders for the guy that came to the Southwest Conference down in San Diego. Well, he attended all 20 of them, and he
And where
always said, is it okay if I go on to my bank? And every year I'd say, absolutely not. And I would think to myself, what in the world is his group doing that they're not getting this guy to understand? You don't go to a hotel and log on to your bank. Something like
but
this would be perfect.
you could go in here and say Firefox private window, and here it's telling me another instance of Firefox is running already because it is. But you can run Firefox off the flash drive or Google Chrome off the flash drive and use that instead of the web browser on the PC.
Oh,
that's
this is going to be so cool. Are you available on May 24?
May 24th. I'll have to check that. I
we
might be.
charge a recruiting fee if you use our vehicle to recruit presenters.
Quiet, quiet.
Problem is on the only problem is on the 24th, I'll be doing a lot of crying because on the 25th, I exit from my 50s and turned 60.
Oh, you poor thing. You're one of the kids.
Yeah.
Um,
Crap, you're the same age as my oldest daughter. Yeah.
Not too much information, Judy.
Oh, Lord. And she's retiring in 2 years from being an AP history teacher for over 35 years.
So, Judy, you said you had a question you wanted to
I
ask.
do. I
Yes,
would
yes, yeah.
like to share my screen.
I think you can now. I think I let everybody do it. Try it. If it gives me a pop-up, I'll approve it, but I think you can. Yep, you can.
mhm.
Oops. It went clear.
Yeah, I know. I'll stop sharing.
That's not good.
Oh, I wonder, can you not share a PowerPoint slide that you have not saved? Would that be strange?
It should just be on the screen and you're sharing.
Yeah,
I see it now.
I see
yeah.
the presentation, but when you start the presentation, it goes away.
Look at that.
Oh, you know what, Judy?
What?
Get out. I know your problem.
What?
Share your first slide is a blank sheet piece of paper.
Oh, actually, it's only one piece of paper, but I'll go with that.
I saw two slides.
Okay, so we'll do this again. It could be that
Share
simple.
the screen and not the app.
Oh, I see up at the top.
Yep,
Ha,
that's what it did. Yeah.
clever. Well, see, he's got young eyes.
Okay, so Bill James is sending you an
Oh,
email.
I'm sorry. Yes.
So now hit the space bar or the
There you
down.
go. Yeah. And Steve's Yahoo address. This
Okay.
address. And I don't
He
need
sends me he sends me an email. He was sending me something with an attachment. The first one was on March 19th and a few today, which was like last Thursday or Friday. And he sends it to jtalor@apcug.org. On my end, when it comes in, it's addressed to Steve's Yahoo address. Steve is in the middle down there. He's the programs and activities director for the Deerfield Computer Club in your area. And I have to be up at 6:30 in the morning to give a presentation to them at 7. Um, he doesn't have that address in his contact list. I don't. I've never, he doesn't and I do it. I Googled his email address and that's how I got to the Deerfield group. And it lands on that page. Bill and I want to know how that is happening.
Well, I bring up my email client and send you an email and see if it does the
Oh,
same
it
thing.
stopped happening.
Oh, well, that's good.
Oh, well, no, I take that back. I've received emails after that and it wasn't doing it anymore. So
Okay.
Bill and I yelled at each other for a while and couldn't figure it out and went away. And this was in my trash because I haven't heard back from Barry or Steve when I sent this to him. This is the email I sent to them because I said I want to know what's happening. So
Okay,
do you
I I just sent you an email. See if you get it or if it winds up to somebody else.
okay?
Because I was thinking it was something that would have to do with the redirector on your host for the email addresses.
I know, but I've never happened. I've had this email address for
Yeah.
16,000 years. It's never happened before. And if you send it to jtalor@apcug.org, I have yet to receive it.
Yeah, I sent it.
It's taking its time.
Refresh, refresh, refresh. Hmm.
Could you send it again just for grins?
Yeah. Let me move my client over here. You can stop sharing if you want to go check your email. And
Oh,
look at my sent.
got
Yeah.
it.
It's in my sent box. And I'll send it a second time.
Okay, and I will refresh. It still wasn't there.
Again,
Mhm.
send.
No, East Coast doesn't like the West Coast.
Yeah, things take longer to get out there.
No, yeah.
Although I sent an express mail to my sister yesterday afternoon and she got it this morning. So she's in LA.
Yeah, nothing's happening.
Probably all come in all at once.
While you're thinking, can I interrupt your train of thought, Judy,
Sure.
with a question, please? Have you sent out the links for tomorrow's presentation that Mike
The
is sending?
time is 4:25 in California.
Too early. Okay.
Too early for me. Okay, the one you sent the second time, or it just came 0 minutes ago, and it is to jtolord, apcug.org, which is where Bill's messages should have come. I
Yeah.
mean, it did get to me, but it had that weird email address.
Only other thing I can think of is Bill used an address list that includes Steve's address. So,
Nope. He looked, although he has several lists, he looked everywhere and he does not have that list. I'm listed nowhere.
but you say it's corrected itself and now you're getting email.
Yeah, but I just, the inquiring minds want to know why I'm getting this.
Hmm.
And I don't want it to happen again. And I don't know if it is, I'm surprised I didn't hear from at least Steve unless he doesn't read his email regularly.
Yeah, you could send an email to Steve and ask him, hey, did you get Bill James' email on 319?
No, no, it comes to me, not him.
I know, but you said,
Ask him if he got a copy
yeah,
of it.
ask him,
Okay,
he got it. Yeah.
I will do that and I will forward this to him again. And Barry just picks up the phone and calls me, and I'm surprised oh, he does that to other people, huh? And I'm surprised he hasn't done Are You Crazy, Judy? And
Well,
called me. But he always forgets what time it is in California, and he calls it really early in the morning.
yeah. Well, my father, with regard to email, being old fashioned, I guess, he expects that if he is setting up, a meeting, if he was the president of his alumni group from college in Florida, and he would send out an invitation for a social event to like 50 people, and he expected literally 50 people to reply back to him.
Mm,
I said, the people that don't care are not going to reply.
yeah. And those that want to come maybe reply 2 or 3 days down the line.
Harry, did you say you had something else that you wanted to ask? Or did we answer?
No. I was just, no. Judy is right. I did forget California. California is 3 hours away. My fault.
Okay. Let's see. I see an unfamiliar name, T. Jode. Why don't you turn your camera on, unmute, and say hello and introduce yourself? There we go. Unmute. There you go.
Things done. I'm Tom. You know who I am. I guess
Tom,
I changed.
are you following me?
No, you're following me. I don't know.
I was here first.
Okay, I'm following you.
Okay, show him your pen.
So since we have you, Tom, on the screen, we typically talk about anything techie or ask any questions we want to have. So what have you done recently that might be of interest to all of us tech-wise?
Well, I signed up for Nord VPN
Yay.
and I downloaded it, and my printer wouldn't work.
Ooh,
And I'm running Microsoft, 11, Windows 11, and I had a heck of a time, like another 8 hours or so. Finally, what I did was I took my printer off and took Nord VPN off. Since the printer was already on, I added Nord on. I took them both off, and then I installed Nord first, and then reinstalled my printer, Epson printer, which is only a couple of years old, and it wouldn't work. It would get stuck in the spool. The Windows would find it, but it wouldn't print. So, after another 8 hours or so, I found that if I put it in with the what do you call it? The ID, ISP, the ID of the printer,
Mm-hmm.
and it somehow worked.
So
So
the VPN was screening out the Wi-Fi connection um, somehow to the printer. It was leaving your house and going to Switzerland and then coming back.
and
And
why would my phone work?
well, is your printer hooked up to your router by a cable or is
No,
it?
it's hooked up with Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So
Well, I'm going to show you one thing that you
So
might be able
it
to
goes
do.
the my information goes Wi-Fi to the router, and it's wired with an Ethernet cable to the printer.
Make sure that when you go into settings, there's an option in, wait for the zoom to get up here. In settings, there's an option here. Mine is set to off. It's called stay invisible on the LAN.
Yes, that's
Keep
correct. Yeah, that is correct. I
You
did
don't
have
want that. You don't want that on.
that. No, it was off.
Okay.
It was marked as off.
and how about remote access while connected to the LAN?
Where would I see
All
that
that
in the
turned
settings?
on through.
That was the one right below it.
Yeah.
Did
Yep.
you ask this question last night?
No.
Okay. See, I did. I didn't get an answer either time.
Okay. Well, what my bottom line question is it didn't seem to load up correctly. Is there something wrong or something's not quite jiggling quite right in my Windows? And should I reinstall my Windows? Do you follow
Uh,
what I'm saying? Everything's kind of, it's working. I don't know half the time I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway,
So if you manually go into the NordVPN app and you turn off the VPN, can you then print to the printer?
yeah, everything, I got everything right running now.
Oh, you do. Okay.
Yes. And like I said, I finally, it asks for the address, what do you call that address?
the
IP
IP address.
100.1.1,
yeah,
whatever.
IP address, right?
The IP?
The IP
Yeah.
address. Yeah.
Okay. I finally put that in. And when I was talking to or they were emailing me or through a chat, they asked me to go in a Nord VPN and do that too, but it didn't work.
Hmm.
Did you pay for that program?
Yes.
Too bad. Would use something else that
Yeah, that's
works.
what I just paid for it. So I
Yep.
think I'm going to get rid of it.
How much was it?
I've been a NordVPN customer for about 4 or 5 years now, and I can print to my printer. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if something happened to my Windows or something. It thought something wasn't quite lined up. That's what I was wondering. I
Well,
think too much about that. I overthink all this stuff too much.
if you know what the name of the printer program is, there's a feature in Nord called split tunneling.
Yes, I
And
heard of that.
what split tunneling does is it says, I want you to hide my connections to Chrome, but when I run my printer, leave it alone. I don't want you to hide the address. I want you to just leave it alone, ignore it.
Yeah. Well, everything seems to be working now, and so I'm just thinking. My overlying question is there something? Should I reinstall my Windows 11 because everything's not quite jiggling up? I mean, this is I don't think this should happen. You know, Epson printers, the one I have, I mean, just a couple of years old, and everything is
What
brand new.
what
Oh,
else isn't working under Windows 11 that's causing you to think it's hokey or whatever?
Well,
Well,
what I'm trying to say is maybe Windows 11 is working all right, but the lump that something's a little jiggly. It's not quite there, so it's working fine for most things, but it's not work. There's something underneath it. It's
they have a money back
like if you have a
guarantee.
car, the car sounds like it's running really well on six cylinders, and it's an eight-cylinder car, and so you don't notice that the other two cylinders are not working.
I can't help you. I have an EV.
Oh,
Oh,
well, then one
stop
of the
it.
batteries isn't working or charged up yet. You follow what I'm
Uh,
trying to say?
yes, and they have a money back guarantee.
Oh, yes, they do.
Yes. See,
yep.
I wouldn't spend the amount of time you are doing on anything.
Oh
If
my God, you can't believe what I've done.
I know.
I mean, this is just my printer wouldn't load on in fact, I was so fortunate that I knew I was going to get help. I couldn't load my printer. My printer was just stopped working on my computer and I couldn't load it back on. So I just couldn't do it. It wouldn't go. And finally I got it. And what happened, if I can remember now, how I solved it is I didn't put any programs in. I have a stick that has it's from the factory that loads up Windows, and I didn't update it. And then I put my printer in, no other programs, and it finally was working.
Have you tried SFC/Scan now?
So I
System.
would leave it alone for now. And
Okay. Oh
I
yeah, right. I did do that. I did do that. That passed, and I also did a dism.exe space online, etc.
Yeah.
um,
Or what does that
I,
do?
I threw my email into the chat. I'm an very experienced NordVPN customer, so if you have any questions before you cancel, let me know.
And
Okay.
it's located in Panama, correct?
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
And that means that the U.S. can't track where you've been, where you're going, etc.
they have a zero logging policy.
Okay,
So,
what happens when the idiot takes over the Panama Canal and it's run by the U.S. folks? God forbid that
well,
should happen, but
well,
if it does, that'll all change.
what happened? Well, I don't think the location of Nord and the Panama Canal are the same place.
Well, they're in Panama.
The company,
Um,
maybe their
but
servers.
hopefully the canal will be separate. Um, but anyway, what happens is they don't write any of the log information to the disk drive.
Mhm.
So if they were to power down the computers, all of the information and memory goes away. So there's nothing for the police to look at.
And it's the same with Proton in Switzerland. There was a famous case where France was trying to trace the communications of a dissident, and he was using Proton Mail and Proton VPN through Switzerland. And so they went to Interpol and filed a warrant. And Interpol went to Switzerland and filed a warrant with Proton, and Proton said, "Be my guest. There's nothing there." And they couldn't find anything because they just don't record it. They don't keep records of it. Yeah, it's totally private. They can shut
I,
them down, or turn the power off, but they can't get any information.
I gave a presentation a couple nights ago, whenever, and I recommended, I tell them a lot of people in APC or UG are going to Proton. It costs money for those who, are used to free. But I thought if John Kennedy can spend money on something, damn it, it's got to be good. That's my
Because
criteria.
because
And which but they
these are
knew
free.
John, so that's what I said. So I'm letting people know that a lot of you guys are using the Proton products.
I
And
subscribe
and
to.
why?
I
Yes,
pay for
why?
one of their products. Um, I pay for their Alias program,
Yeah. Yeah.
called Simple Login.
But that's I'm still paying for it. Yeah.
Right. So,
Simple log on. In fact, yeah, let's see what if I can do this. Um, let's see here. Let me go to CFCS. Yeah, there we go. And now I got to go back and share my screen, don't I? Yeah. Okay, share desktop two. Share. Grab this and put it over there. Okay, so this is the Central Florida Computer Society's website. And one of the features is what Drew was just talking about on simple login, which is a Proton product, and you can pay for it separately or you can get it with any one of their plans. Among other things, you can get your own domain. So I've set up a domain for free for MyQ18 at slmail.me, and then anything in front of that. So in this case, CFCS Social Club, but it could be anything. And you can use that as disposable addresses as well. So when
right.
people use this to send an email to contact CFCS, it goes here to get on it. And it's just a nice feature.
Right. And then if, for example, Mike started getting spam from that address,
Mhm.
he could shut it off and uh, he wouldn't get any more spam. And then he just puts up a new address up there.
And when I go to a site that wants me to log in to get a newsletter or something, in the box that says email, there's a little red envelope. And I just click on that.
And
And
it generates an email.
it said that it was apcug2.org. Um, then it would just pick up um, APCUG 2 at myq18.slmail.me would be the address that would go into that box.
How
And
much does that cost?
I don't pay extra for it, Drew. So what do you pay? You,
I think I paid $30 or $35 for a year.
Oh my gosh, we need a presentation on this, guys. That's chump change.
he did do one for us at one time, so it's just like you say. If you've done a local presentation, just renew it and boom, you.
Nobody pays any attention to me. But then again, maybe when he's finally 60 and a grown up, he'll pay attention
Well,
to the old
well, well,
lady.
well, Judy, I just sent you an email a few minutes ago
Oh, okay.
From Drew at roosters.simplelogin.com.
And if you respond to that, he's going to get it.
If you reply to
Put
that
him on a
email,
mailing
I'll
list,
get it.
or he'll get
I
it. If
get,
he doesn't want
I
it, just do away with it.
Oh, right there it says testing.
Yes, that came through my simple login server. And what's nice about that is when you reply to me, it's going to go back through the simple login server. It's going to get encrypted with PGP. And when it lands in my inbox, it will be fully encrypted. And my internet service provider that manages the mail server can't read your message. Only I can.
Yeah, John does that for me, but he's actually sending me something that he doesn't want, out in the world, so to speak. But I like the doodles. That's way cool.
Well, I have a golden doodle, and my brother-in-law has a golden doodle, and my niece has a golden doodle.
Wow. Are they all the same family?
Two came from the same breeder. Mine came from a different breeder. But my brother-in-law and I take our dogs together out for a 2 mile walk every morning at 8 o'clock.
Wow. That's 5 o'clock my time.
Sandy, I see you are here for first time in a while. Why don't you turn your camera on, unmute, and say hello and what you've been up to? Unless we put you there.
No, I'm here.
Good
Thanks
evening.
for saying hello. It took me a while to turn the mic off. I'm still doing this on the cell phone right now. So, but it's interesting to learn about all the things more I could be doing on the computer. What have I been up to? Still trying to get my life back together as a new widow after my husband died. But little by little, getting it caught up.
Sorry for
Was on what should I call it? It was a study group on DNA from Pinellas Genealogical Society. I used to participate in those monthly and have not done it for a couple years and got back to it today. And oh my goodness, all the new developments in being able to sort and compare your DNA. That's a free program, a free user group, much like this, that chats once a month on Tuesday afternoons on the fourth Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So if anybody's into DNA, they know their stuff.
question for Sandy, Judy.
Yes. Sandy, did you talk about the fact that you shouldn't, if you've got your DNA at 123 or whatever it is,
23andMe.
you should grab 20, thank you. You should grab it quickly because they're going out of business. They went bankrupt.
There was a discussion about that. Most of the people on there, and these are very serious DNA people. One here in Orlando that's a member of our genealogical club. He actually, what is it called? IGG. Anyway, he's one of the people that identifies bodies for police and for the armed services to try to trace the DNA. So as I say, these people know what they're doing. Most of them felt that they were just going to sit tight, that they felt that Ancestry's been sold a dozen times and nothing has happened to the DNA. And it's in the interest of whoever buys 23andMe to keep operating and keep it safe. So their recommendation was don't panic, don't delete your DNA, but do download it so you have your own copy on your own computer. Now, we do that when we transfer our DNA from one company to another. The recommendation has always been test with Ancestry and then transfer and download your DNA to your computer. Do not open it under any circumstances. It's just a huge file with thousands of letters that will mean nothing. But then upload it to the other companies that accept free uploads like Family Tree DNA and MyHeritage, so that you can fish in all the ponds. You'll get the same services as if you had tested your DNA with them, and you'll get all the same matches, but it won't cost you anything. That 23andMe has never allowed anybody to do that. So you cannot upload your DNA to them, and you can't upload from, say, MyHeritage or Family Tree DNA into Ancestry. So you have to start with Ancestry and then move your DNA into the other companies, but you won't have to test again with them. But so you could take the file from 23andMe and download it to your computer, and at least it would be there for safekeeping. But they're not recommending at this point that you delete it.
Thank you. My dealings with 23andMe is the president of the Glendora group in SoCal sent me an email, and from his email address that said, give me a call, let me know when you have time to talk. Normal, that's between Jim and Judy. And I'd call him and we'd talk tech for an hour or so. And his wife was an artist. So, he called me. And as I was getting ready to click on my reply, I looked and I said, wait a minute. He sent it from his 1001 at Gmail account. And it was going back to his A101 at AOL account. He had an AOL account, but sharp eyes here, missing the zero. So I stopped and I got no spam at my J Talor. I got no spam at my SCV Judy at Gmail. And I got spam at my original email account, US based Middle America, USA.net. Over and over, and they were all Florida companies. I finally traced it to somebody had hacked into a car dealer's sales staff. And I traced it to them, and the manager said, gee, that's really nice of you to let me know what's going on. He says, I've had two people go, hello, I'm clueless. And so one of the spam emails I got was from 23andMe. So I thought, I know that business. I picked up the phone, I gave him a call, and I said, may I please speak to your IT department? Knowing full well they would not put me through. She did. And this kid picked up the phone. I told him what was going on. Somebody has blah, 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 sending out spam messages, blah. And he said, thank you for letting me know, but I can't do anything about that. So no wonder, I thought that was a stupid reply and very interesting. And I thought to myself, who would want to deal with these people?
Yep.
Mm.
I think we need to put a system in place for the U.S. Postal Service where you, Judy, let's say you get your mail and you have a bunch of crap in there. You could log on to the U.S. Postal Service website and type in the address of the sender and say, I don't want to make a block list and say, I don't want to receive any further mail from these 10 businesses. And then they can't deliver that mail to you anymore. It goes away.
There used to be an app for that, as they say. There's an app for that. It cost, I don't know, $50 a year or something. You put it on your phone. And I don't remember how it got it got the address. You typed in the email address that was on a spam letter that came.
No, I'm not talking about spam mail letters. I'm talking about real mail.
Letters.
Yeah.
Typed in the email address just the way it was on the outside of the envelope, and it added it to a list. And then they sent it to the National Clearinghouse, something like that, and they put out notices, do not mail these people, kind of thing. And maybe 50% of them would be successful and you'd be off their mailing list. But it got more unsuccessful than successful, and I stopped paying the fee.
Yeah,
because I call those people. They're all charities, and once you do one, it goes like this to everybody in the whole free world. And where I live now, I'm getting a whole bunch of new people because they don't forward those kinds of things, which is way cool. And you can get a picture of X number of envelopes that are coming to you in your mailbox like the next day. And that's for free from the post office.
I do get that.
And that's to make sure that one of the computer club members of the Laverne group, she said, my mailbox is way down the hill and the high school kids walk by going to school. And she wouldn't get some of the mail that she was sure she should get. And so she went down to the post office and she finally got what she was looking for. And she said, this is what I don't get. And so they said, sorry, but we can't do it. But this is the time frame that your mail is always delivered. Perhaps you should be down there, or when the kids go by or something. But if you're interested in advance, and again, she on the other side, she would take the email down and say, "This is what I didn't get right here." And she was an extremely happy camper with that. I call them on the phone, and I'm retired. I don't have anything else to do. And when I get one, I'll even call at night when they're closed. They will always take you off their list. You might get a couple of more because we've set this all up in advance, but we will take you off the list, and they do. And all it does is, a little short phone call. I want to be
I
removed
I
from your
I
mailing
get
list.
I get a lot of mail from places that I can't figure out where it came from. Um, and I would say all my billing, all my banking, all my utilities, everything is done electronically. I get maybe two or three letters in the mail a month that are legitimately mine, and 99% of it is junk.
Are they asking for donations?
No, not all of them, not only a few. I was getting one from a realtor frequently, and I contacted the realtor and I said, "Take me off your list." And she said, "Well, I really can't because my company buys the list, and you're on the list."
Yep.
And I said, "Take me off it, or I'm going to sue you." And she got me off the list.
Always remember to say that. Mine is mostly I donated to the Salvation Army and then they sold the list. And then other people sold the list. And now I'm getting a ton and a half of political email. And if you do want to have your name on that petition and you don't look in the lower left-hand corner where there's a little box where you can check if it's pre-checked that says you are letting us know that you will get emails from blah, 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 blah. And you must always look down there and uncheck it
Yep,
because that's the way you get on all of those blah, blah, blah email lists.
right. And that's why Mike and I use a different email address for everything. That
Mm-hmm.
way, if you get spammed to that address,
Just
even
delete
though the spam is landing in your personal mailbox, it's not going to Judy Talor. It's going
Yeah.
to wacky wonder shined at something, and then you can just go in and turn it off, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll throw everything away.
Yeah. Good idea. No, fantastic idea.
All right, Dick Vogel, what have you got to pass on to us this evening, if you're still awake? Unmute. Unmute is the standard phrase. There you go.
Staying awake has been the problem. Uh, no, I'm enjoying all the conversation. I can't say I've had any problems with anything that makes it worth reporting. Everything just seems to work. I will say that I've used that what's the PC that we were talking about earlier that
Patch my PC.
patch my PC, yes.
Mhm.
And I've used the Unigeti, and I found that the patch my PC just didn't have as many hits as the other one did, and so I abandoned that and I just used the other one.
I've tried Nine Night. It has a whole bunch of things on there. It will also update.
Yeah, the problem with Ninite is a lot of the software that's on there is old.
Yes, yes, yes.
And
Yeah, you just have a. I just choose what I need, 4 or 5 things.
for example, Microsoft makes Winget, which what this runs on. They put it into Windows, and they maintain a Winget database. So the company, let's take Zoom for example, they fill out a form and they send it to Microsoft, and it on that form it says this is where new software builds are downloaded from. And it's Zoom's responsibility to tell Microsoft they've got a new version. They went from version 1 to version 2. Now, the next time my computer checks for updates, Microsoft knows that version 2 is available and where to get it from.
So that's Winget then, and
Yes.
Okay, I'll try that. Thank you, Drew.
Drew, take a look at the PC one that you say is old. They've completely redone the program. When I used it, I went, whoa, this is totally different, for heaven's sakes. And it was interesting. And see, my problem is that I have stuff that Ninite doesn't have.
Right. And you know what? There's over 5 or 6 thousand programs in the Microsoft database.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not only free programs, they're paid programs. Like, for example, TechSmith Snagit can be installed through Winget.
But my
Uh,
problem is I don't deal well with black and white and patch my PC. It's so nice and colorful. How
right. Well,
frivolous is that?
the UniGet UI is a third-party graphical user interface for it that I showed you. And as I said, Microsoft in the next version of PowerToys is going to have their own graphical user interface for Winget. So you won't need to use the command prompt.
And if you had mentioned it's a GUI, does everybody on here know what a GUI is?
Nope.
Something sticky underneath my foot.
Graphical interface.
Started with the Macintosh. Borland actually picked it up for a while. Yes, Dick.
I will say that one of the problems that I have with Winget is that it comes up with Microsoft updates. And when you try to use Winget to get that Microsoft update, it fails every time.
That's interesting.
Do you have your office get your office the same day you get your that well back in the day it was, once a month on the same day. But my Office 365 comes up the same time I get an update. And I love that part because I don't have to think that is my Office updated or not. Just
Right.
like with the regular updates for your OS.
Yep. Well, if you wrote a little batch file and you just put one line in it and winget upgrade all, and then that's the only line in the batch file, and then you click on it from a shortcut and it'll open up a DOS window, upgrade all your software and close.
I knew how to do that, I could, but I'm just a regular person here.
But like I said, Microsoft has Power Toys and it's going to have Winget built into it soon. So that's you can get that from the Microsoft store.
That's just much easier.
Paul, I know you dropped out for a little bit. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about this evening? Or he dropped out and it's gone incognito.
I think he had dozed off.
Okay. Well, we've been doing this for about an hour.
I guess I do have a follow-up.
Yes.
If I have time, I don't want to waste your
No,
time.
I was
Okay,
going
do I really need a VPN if I don't use the internet? I don't search the internet if I'm out and around. I don't use my phone. I have gig by gig, and I don't use any. I don't do any data on my phone at all.
well, just the opposite. I don't use my VPN at home unless I go to the bank. I'll turn it on when I go to Chase Bank or my local bank. But the rest of the stuff, like even now, the VPN's turned off. But when I go out, I've got a Google Pixel, and by default, Google enables their VPN. It's no additional charge, and I have to actually turn it off if I want to turn it off. So most of the time, my phone has the VPN on, and I'm not worried about high speed. So
Yeah, well, I have to pay for this, so I'm wondering if it's another thing I don't really need.
what kind of phone do you have?
An iPhone. So the iPhone I think is pretty secure anyway.
I was trying to remember if Apple has their own built-in VPN or not.
Um, Now, depending upon what version of Nord you paid for, the one of the medium grade versions, not the basic one, also scans your downloads for malware and phishing attacks and things like that.
The one that I purchased has a gigabyte or terabyte of storage.
Terabyte of so you're on the same plan that I'm on. So
Okay.
that's a terabyte of end-to-end encrypted storage. So you could put financial documents up there, medical documents up there, as a backup to your house, having a copy at your house. And NordVPN can't read those documents. They're completely encrypted.
I wasn't so worried about that. I just wanted to have a image copy of my computer on the
That's
cloud in the
that's
cloud.
not that's not going to work that way for that.
Okay, so I don't really need that either.
The only way to upload files to the NordVPN cloud server is through their app or through a browser.
Okay.
Um, those are the only two ways you can upload a file because you have to encrypt it before it leaves your PC so that it arrives at their server encrypted. So that's why they require their client.
This is over top of my head for sure.
So don't worry about it then.
Yeah. And the same thing. How about a word password manager then? I was going to use there, but otherwise BitWarden then or
If you're new, if you're your basic average skill level user, I would say Bitwarden's a good choice.
is not or good?
Is
Is a good choice. Okay. And then one more question, I guess it's more for you, Drew, is what I did with my computer is I used like somebody already said about the SFC / scan now, and then I used the other dism.exe online cleanup image and restore health. If I do that, that means my Windows is in good shape.
that's a question I cannot answer because I'm not familiar with those programs.
Yes, Judy.
Yeah, the scan now just makes sure all your Windows programs are correct and operating properly.
Okay, and that's basically what they do. And the other one, it really goes through it also and makes sure everything's correct too. Yeah, it puts everything in health. And the scan now, I believe, is just it checks it to see if everything's working, and they say yes or no.
After you run your scan now, reboot your computer.
Yes, I did. Okay. Okay.
Yes, Judy.
Tom,
Yes,
if
ma'am.
you want to see an excellent Bitwarden presentation, go to APCUG's YouTube channel and search for John Kennedy.
Okay.
He absolutely loves it. And I think he's a retired teacher, and his presentations are strictly teaching presentations with screenshots and blah, 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 blah.
It's good
Just
for
what
me
you
that
need
has
to know.
who's kind of old. I can't
Well,
remember.
he's an elementary school teacher and a
Oh, that's
musician.
even better
What
for
can I
me.
tell you?
Okay, guys. Well, that answers some. Oh, the one more question, Drew, is about emails. There's some free email places where I can just put a quick email in for if you're going to sign up for something on a website and they want an email. Is that fine then?
Yes, as long as it's a site that, like if they have a forgotten my password clip button,
Yeah.
they're gonna, and you need to reset your password because you forgot it, and you gave them one of those 10-minute mail addresses, that email address is gone, and you're not going to be able to reset your
Okay.
password.
Okay. Okay.
So that's
Mainly,
why,
I think what I've seen before is you send them they do an email and then they send an email back to that particular email to see if you're really you.
correct. Yes, if you don't care about the password thing, I do that as well. I go to 10-minute mail
Yes, that's correct. That's
and,
what I was asking.
I give them I generate a new email address, paste it into the newsletter site, and then they will almost immediately, within a minute or two, send me an email which goes into that window, and it will say, please verify that you really are who you say you are, and you do. And then they say thank you, and then you don't care anymore.
Okay. And one more thing about email. Is there a way I can back up my emails? I'm using Comcast and iCloud, also Apple.
What is your email client on your computer?
Comcast,
No.
Xfinity.
Oh,
Do you literally go to the Comcast website, or are you using a mail application, or you
No. I'm using their application.
their web application?
Yes. I'm not
yeah,
using, I usually use Outlook, but I'm not using Outlook.
Check and see with their web application if there's a drop down menu that lets you archive or back, download your emails.
Okay.
See, if you were using an app like um, um, the Microsoft Outlook
Yes, I was thinking of,
or
is it a,
Thunderbird, it you can have Microsoft Outlook keep a copy on your PC, it mirrors what's on the server. You delete it in one place, it deletes it in the other.
so you'd kind of recommend that I switch back to, since I have Microsoft 365, I can go back to Outlook then.
If you're subscribing to that service, why not?
Okay. Okay.
Well,
Okay, guys, thank you so much. Drew, if I need a question, I'll ask you. Oh,
okay,
Yeah,
one more thing,
wait.
I was
just
just really totally aside, when I was having trouble with my printer, beginning of the year, I knew I had it covered because I emailed Huey, and then I also emailed Bill James, and they sent it over to Ron Brown. So they gave me some ideas, but I finally figured it out. So, but I knew that they would have helped me.
Right.
Well, Bill uses an HP, so if you have an HP printer, ask him.
Isn't it?
He's not
Anyway,
going to help you with
that was
anything
so
else.
nice, and I'm belonged because I belong to the Marin County Club in some just north of San Francisco, and so I've been coming to all these meetings. I'm trying to learn a little bit. It's kind of over my head most of the things, but we're getting there, Judy.
Well, for everything
Yeah.
that's over your head, you're slowly working your way back up to the
Yep.
surface to get above water. So,
That's how we all did it. He's a member of the Golden Gate Computer Society.
Yes.
Okay.
yep. Paul, you're last man on the totem pole.
Thanks, guys.
Share with.
Okay. All right. Well, uh, I've had lots of time to think about what I was going to say. So I have three comments. First of all, I'm going to get them all out in one shot, and then we can massage them around. So we were talking about the microphone output before. I spent some time playing with the computer. Um, I went into the start button and typed in sound, and that uh, dialog box popped up, but it didn't look like his. The I didn't have the microphone output. What I do have, I'm going to open it up here. It says microphone, Realtek, and then R in brackets audio. So
Okay.
it says
Instead of describing it, you can share your screen now.
okay. Well, okay.
So let us see what you're looking at. So go down to the bottom, click on
Okay,
the.
wait. Let me get all three things out
All right.
first. Okay, I don't want to beat this to death. It's not that important. Okay, we can do that last. The second thing is Discord. When I get that email from you that says I've missed all these things, and I click on the link and I get into Discord, and it opens up, looks normal, but if I go to another folder or area, I can never get back to where I just was. I have no idea where that came from. I've spent some time, several times, trying to figure that out. You can answer me that question maybe now or offline another day. And the other thing is, I'm running this Windows 10 computer that I bought maybe 3 years ago, something like that now. You bought it with me, Mike. So it's my laptop, my Windows 10 laptop, which I bought because I needed something to run Zoom on and my TurboTax program. Everything's really great. You know, I got Word on it. I got discs for when I worked at Lockheed Martin. Um, we could buy the whole Microsoft package for like $15, and we did that for years. And I still have the whole package and my Word and Excel programs loaded up and work on my Windows 10 computer. And it runs really good. And you know, I don't use it that much, but it runs good. Um, Windows 11. Um, it makes me real shaky to say yes to upgrade this computer to Windows 11. I don't know how many people have done this. Does it go smooth? Blah, blah, blah. Just, you know, when something works, I hate to really mess with it. And I just don't know if I just, you know, should just, you know, just power through it and just not do anything after October.
All right. So
I have,
here's the deal. Number one, and this is National Backup Month, okay? What is it? The 30th is National Backup Day, Judy?
31.
31. All right. So I'm going to ask you the question that we ask everybody that comes up with questions like this. Have you recently backed up your computer?
Last week, or a few days ago.
Okay. So on the night before you decide to become adventurous, back your whole computer up and have an image. Okay. Now you can do anything you want to it. You can scramble it. You can do whatever you want because you got an image you can restore and say, all right, I'm done. I want to go back to just the way it was. Okay. So if you're feeling adventurous or if I'm available to help you, as the case may be, then yeah, let it upgrade to Windows 11, let it convert everything and see if everything's working fine for you. If like Tom, all of a sudden your printer stops working, you know, then we may have problems we have to solve. But in general, that's what Microsoft wants everybody to do. If you're running Windows 10, they want you to convert to Windows 11 before October and not have to pay a $30 fee to keep getting updates.
Well,
right.
look,
I have two laptops that came with Windows 10 that I upgraded to 11, and they're both upgraded perfectly.
did everything keep working? Like
Yes, they,
printers?
oh yeah, everything, all my software worked, and um, I had a requirement, that my laptop, because your laptop comes with 10, it has a serial number built into it, a license code for Windows 10.
Right.
I tried to, wipe out 10 and go directly to 11, and it wouldn't let me. It wouldn't take the license code into Windows 11. I was forced to go back to 10 and then upgrade to 11.
And would you let him know how many days he has until he goes, I can't stand this, it didn't work, and he can go back to 10?
I think it is a maximum of 10 days.
Oh, you
You
can
can you can tell Windows to say, I don't like this. Give me what I had back.
But I don't even think I'd let it do it. I mean, I've got an image backup. I
Couldn't you use an image backup with
just
that?
want to be back. Just restore your image and you're right back where you were before you started the update.
Hmm.
But now the bottom line is, in my opinion, no one should actually do an upgrade. Everybody should back up their computers, do what John's going to do tomorrow and use free file sync and back up your data, wipe your hard drive out completely, download the installation copy of Windows 11, which you can do, and install it, fresh as a brand new installation of Windows 11. Use your license code, and if you don't have the license code, you can log on to your Microsoft account, and it'll authorize you. And you've got a nice, clean copy of Windows 11 with no luggage carried over from Windows 10 with any problems that you might have had. I did that from Windows 7. When I went to Windows 10, I said, I am not going to upgrade. I just wiped the computer,
Oh,
put Windows
see,
on, and
right. And that worked because your computer was old enough to have a license code.
yeah.
Computers today, it comes from the manufacturer and it's burned onto a chip in the laptop. And Windows 11 is going to go look at that chip and it's going to see a serial number that was coded for Windows 10, and it's going to flip you the finger. It's not going to work.
I did that for a person that asked me to clean up their Windows 11 computer that had been hijacked, and did exactly that. I wiped it out, reinstalled a fresh copy of Windows 11. It told me that this is not authorized. You need to authorize it. I went to reauthorize it with their Microsoft account, wouldn't take it. There is a very, very convoluted procedure, and the only way you can get to it is one of the links in your troubleshooting when it doesn't work. It says call for support. And that's one of those scary things that you wonder if you're going to be talking to somebody in India and it's not really Microsoft. But you call them and you act, and they want you to do it from your cell phone. So what happens is you call the number and you're getting an automated service, and you're telling on your screen, you've got a little blue thing from the troubleshooter that told you the 800 number to call. And there's like 27 digits in 2 rows, or 26 digits in 2 rows. And the cell phone, it says, type in the digits that are on your screen. And you go through and you type in all 26 digits. And it says, okay, we're going to send you a link to send you your authorization code. And while it's doing that on your screen, it's changed its display and says, type in the digits that you've just received on your cell phone. And you go in and you type those digits in and say, congratulations, you're authorized. I actually went through that process twice. Never seen it before, haven't seen it since. But it is a way to do a clean installation of Windows 11 on iron, for that matter.
Yep. And what I
You guys
discovered.
are way ahead of me on all this stuff. I mean, yeah, I've been on computers since '85, and but I don't live it like you guys do. I'm a airplane guy. I'm a car guy. I'm a mechanic. I'm an electrical guy. I know stuff,
Paul's nickname is MacGyver.
but I know man's got to know his limitations, right? So a lot of stuff that what Mike does is not track style. I'm willing to follow all the time.
Well, we try, Paul. And I was going to go through Discord, but I didn't want to drag this one out tonight. But I have the solution for your Discord problems. And for those that don't know,
I'm not saying I've got a problem. I'm saying I've got
an interpretation of what you're seeing on the screen problem. Yes, a user interface problem.
Yeah.
We'll resolve that.
But if I log into Discord normally on my Windows 10 computer, I mean, everything's normal. And I can poke around, but if I get the email on my Windows 7 computer and I open up the email, it opens normally. It's just that the link takes me to a certain place, and I don't know where that place is.
Okay.
And if I leave it, I can never.
I've turned all my notifications off. I don't get those emails. I don't want those emails. When I go to Discord, I want to go to it, and it shows me all the channels that have new comments, and I have no problems, going through it.
I didn't know if those emails I get are automated or you're sending them out every week.
They're automated, and you can turn them off, and that's my recommendation. We'll go through all of that. We'll have a session on Discord next time.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Promo tomorrow, Wednesday workshop, noon Eastern. Yours truly and John Kennedy are presenting more information on backing up. I'm going to be talking about Macrium Reflect and CloneZilla, how to use them as portable applications that boot up from a flash drive. And the big thing I've had asked of me already when I've tried promoting it is, why would I do that? And the answer is for convenience, if you want to be somewhere and just have your backup program with you, or corrupted hard drive and you can't run your backup and restore program from the computer that you're trying to either backup or restore. You want to have those rescue disks, or the CloneZilla disk, as the case may be, in your suite of USB. And so I show how to make it and how to do backups. And John's going to talk about free file sync.
What's CloneZilla?
When I first learned about it, it's one of the best file synchronization programs I've come across. What was your question, Paul?
You said ChromeZilla?
Clone
Zilla.
CLONE
Yeah.
Zilla ZILLA.
What is it?
Tune in tomorrow at noon.
That's a preview.
Gee, and if you don't have the time to do it, it'll be recorded and you'll
Okay.
Yeah, it clones your hard drive.
I just don't have the time for that. I got so much stuff going on here on the property and with the wife.
It's being recorded so you can do it anytime at midnight if you want.
Yeah, I actually do look at the recordings when Mike puts them out to absorb as much as I can on them, you know.
There you go.
And Mike doesn't put them out until Judy puts them together.
Oh, no, I don't. That's correct.
Join the club, Paul.
Say again?
Join the club.
Yeah.
The same way. Too much work. Anyway.
Okay, thank you all for participating in our Tech SIG, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Mike, and the rest of you guys. Bye.
Night all.